Hi YouTube. This video is going to be on bluefin fishing, bluefin basics. Just here waiting for my daughter at swim. I don't get much time. I work a lot, so I thought I'd just give you my take on it. I go out of San Diego. I live in Vegas. I go out of San Diego probably 7 times a year. I usually do the day and a half or 2.5 day boats. That's the first thing. I would not do an overnight trip. I think pound for pound, your best value is a day and a half trip. Anything with a half on it, really. Because with the day and a half, you're not rushed to get back. If you do an overnight trip, you're going to motor out, probably start fishing 6 or 7, and then if you need to shut off by 2. That's if you're a ways out to make it back to the dock. But they just don't have the time to chase the fish as much. The good thing about the day and a half trip is you load up around 8, anywhere between 7 and 9. You go get bait, you bait up, and then you motor out, and around 6 you start fishing. And you actually have a full entire day of fishing. And that can be anywhere from 14 to 18 hours straight, depending on how much you want to fish. But there's always, room for air. You have to eat lunch and stuff like that. So definitely in my mind, if you're thinking of starting to go out of San Diego on a boat, 100% go on a day and a half. I think pound for pound, money wise and fishing wise, it's the best. It's the most comfortable if you're just getting into it. The second thing is, what tackle do you bring? Well, 8 years ago, 7 years ago was a lot easier to decipher that because we didn't have the big bluefin offshore right now. We have this massive bluefin fishery out there right now that can get up to 360 pounds. I was out on a boat, I don't know, about, I think 2 months ago. Oh yeah, it was the New Loan, and the captain came down and let us know when he's gaffing our yellowtail and stuff that something dumped a 50 wide, almost max drag, and had a 130-pound string. So anyway, so getting back to what you need for tackle, if you're just getting into this, maybe go your first time and just maybe rent a 40-pound outfit. Usually they'll put 65-pound braid on it with a 40-pound leader, or a top shot, and then a floor leader. And then a 30 for schoolie size. So if you have a 40-pound outfit and you're running 12 to 13 pounds of drag on it, which is about 40-pound test, you can, 30%. Your drag needs to be set 30% of what your line rating is. So if you're running 40-pound fluoro leader, completely forget your braid. 40-pound fluoro, that equates to about 12 pounds of drag. And the more that spool empties, the higher the drag goes up. So that's why we set it so low. Okay, so if you've been dumped half your spool, you now might be up around 18 pounds of drag because you have a smaller diameter. That's just how it works. Definitely want to bring fluorocarbon for bluefin fishing. They're extremely line shy. The thing is with bluefin, all these big fish that are being caught, like the 120s, 130s, 150s, most of those are kite fish. And the reason is because the flying fish is dancing on top of the water and they can't see the line, okay? So they look at it like a little wheat thin up on top, and they go up and they munch it. And the reason it only takes 20 minutes to get these to the boat is because you've got a huge stick and a 50 wide and low gear. You've got probably 300-pound braid and 200-pound leader. So you're just basically putting it on the rail and low, and you're grinding the fish to the boat. Okay, so is it hard? Yeah, I've done it. But it's not that hard. Okay, what's hard is the fish you catch on the 30 and 40-pound leader. My best fish on 40-pound leader is a 113-pound bluefin, and it took 1 hour and 22 minutes. And the reason is because I only had 40-pound leader, and I can only put so much drag to the fish, right? He's going to do whatever he wants. And that's why you have a rod and reel. The rod and reel is designed to do all the work. okay, and you have to have the right type of rod. If you're gonna buy a rod, I would definitely look at United Composites. Excellent rods, just great history. And I still, despite what's going on with CalStar right now, I love the Graphiters because they have a soft tip and they have backbone. Okay, so that rod's going to do a lot of work for you. So anyways, plenty of good reels out there. I run the Okumas. I really like them, but Penn's good. Excuse me there. Had a phone call come in. Penn's really good. Avoc's excellent. Accurate's excellent. They pretty much all make really good reels. It's just kind of what your flavor. It's kind of like the Ford, Chevy, Dodge thing. It's kind of whatever you're into. So what do you take? Just take, you can fish J hooks or circle hooks now. So with basically with like yellowtail fishing, you can definitely get away with J hooks. I'm personally a J hook man through and through. Even on the big bluefin. I know they have teeth and they can saw through, but I use the J offset hooks and I just fish them like a circle hook. So that's really up to you, that's your preference. I don't know if there's any statistics on if circle hooks land more bluefin than J hooks. Don't know, but it's what you're comfortable fishing really when it comes down to it. You have to set the hook a little bit quicker. If you're fishing, if you think you're going to get bit by a bluefin, it's a bluefin, and you can't just let them eat it like a circle, because it's not gonna, you got to kind of set it just right to get them in the corner of the mouth. So as far as hooks goes, just bring anywhere from size 4, which is really tiny, all the way up to, I say, like a 6.0 on a 1.5-day boat, because you're basically matching your hook to the size of the bait. If you put a huge 5.0 hook on a little anchovy, you're going to drown your bait. It's not going to swim. You're not going to get bit. The thing with the short range boats, the 1.5-day boats, now this is important, okay, is they don't really get the cured bait. Okay, the long range boys get the pick of the litter. So that bait selection is real hit and miss. It can be, I've been on boats where 70% of the bait is horrible. Even sardines, they're red, they're gutless, they're flipping over in the well. So you got to really hunt for a good bait, okay? And you want to get that bait in the water as quickly as you can, okay? Now there's another argument out there where, well, should I cast out as far as I can get it into the zone, they call it, right? Or should you just drop it right in on the windward side, and if you got a good swimmer, let it swim away from the boat? Well, I gotta be honest, I've done this long enough, and I can honestly say I've been bit both ways. It doesn't really matter. I would almost say if you have weaker bait, just drop it over the side. If you've got, stud swimmers and you've got some cured bait in there, you can probably afford a 30-40 foot cast if you want. But again, sometimes with the weaker bait, it's better to get it in the water right away. So what I do is I come underneath, I coddle it. I don't squeeze it too hard. I hook it as fast as I can. I hold the line and let it dangle, and I get it in the water as quickly as I can, because you don't want to shock the bait. You don't want to scale the bait. That's the whole idea. I think that process right there makes a huge difference as far as you getting bit and not bit, because you're going to have guys that just get bit more. A lot of those guys too don't feel like you're not doing something right, okay? Because a lot of those guys are running 15-20 pound test, and they're getting bit every time they throw it in the water. The problem with that is if you get a big fish, a 60 to 80 pound fish on 15 or 20 pound leader, and the school gets spooked, then this guy's tying up the boat for an hour and a half and we can't move and no one's catching fish. So it really sucks. So I'm kind of anti-light line, and for the guys out there that think they're really good fishermen and you're using a light line, I just don't think it's a good idea because it's selfish. I would say the least you should go is 25 pound leader, okay? That's just my preference. When you first slide in on the fish, it's called the slide. Basically what you're after there is What I do is I have a separate stick with a Colt Sniper or a P-line jig on there, okay, and I'm throwing my P-line out or my my Colt Sniper right away before the boat even slows down. Generally, I pick one up before anybody even gets their bait in the water. That's a great trick, okay? Just so you know, it almost like becomes kind of a cast troll situation, and 50-50. You'll probably pick one up, especially schoolie fish, Dorado, small tuna, yellowtail on patties, stuff like that. So some captains don't really like that, or they don't like you thrown to the patty before the boat is done and the people are baiting the water. So it just depends. You got to feel that out, but that's a good trick. What else? I don't want to make this too complex for people that are just thinking about getting into tuna fishing. I'll make other videos and get more in depth about it, but that's kind of the start off on some of the basics and kind of some of the basic tips. I hope this helps you. I know there's like a million videos on tuna fishing, right? And everyone's an expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just a guy who loves fishing, and I've been out a lot, and anything I share with you, if I can help you catch fish, I mean, that's just great. I think everybody should have all the information possible so they can have a good time out there, with whether it's you taking your family, your daughter, your son, your wife, whatever, just to help you catch fish. And the deckhands are great too on most of these boats. Get to know the deckhands, and don't be afraid to ask them, hey, I need help tying a knot, so on and so forth, because there's a whole bunch of knots now. It's not like the old days where it's just the improved clinch knot, right? So there's a whole bunch of them. But all right, well, over and out, and I hope this helped you, and sorry for the weird format, but I just wanted to get some information out there on fishing, mainly bluefin. Kind of tailored this, but we can get into other stuff later, and I'll probably post some more videos. So have an amazing day, and get out and vote. Talk to you later.